The one-day journey of a perfect girl. Once, there was a perfect girl named Ablah, whose life is envied by many in their town. Her name itself means perfection. She was pleasing in appearance, has a very high sense in fashion. She has a majestic pair of eyes. Her voice sounded like a harmonizing cherubim at the Garden of Eden. She has talented ears that makes her a music wizard, a very smart girl. And her hands were those of a goddess. They can paint, write, and play harp. One day, she decided to go on a trip alone, so she carried her bag with a pen and binded papers inside it and a few bags in her wallet. Then she's good to go. Ablah was walking when someone bumped onto her. She looked up to see the person. "Wow," she added. Her mouth went agape when she saw the girl wearing an archetypal dress. Very classic. "You are dressed weirdly, miss," she said. The face of the girl is almost covered, and so is her entire body. But the beauty she possesses cannot be covered by the clothes, but rather made her more beautiful and exceptional. The girl only smiled at Ablah and answered, "This is how Yakan people dress. I came from Sulu archipelago, and it is our traditional clothing." Ablah was wearing a casual beige dress paired with her white shoes, but the girl in front of her was wearing a colorful, hand-woven clothing with geometric patterns. Maybe it is not weird, but rather unique. I hope I can go to your island one day and wear the same style of clothing you have. I want to witness the weaving process too and commend Yakans for having such talented hands. You stand out. Ablah sincerely praised the girl. "Thank you. You look good in your dress too." The exchange of smiles and praises continued until they bid their goodbyes to go to their separate destination. Continuing her journey, Ablah hopped in a jeepney. There she sat and began writing on her paper. The jeepney stopped and another passenger entered. The boy sat next to Ablah. Both of them are holding a pen and paper. Strange as it is, the symbols written on the boy's paper was unfamiliar to Ablah. Driven by her curiosity, she asked the boy, "Those were beautiful. Do you mind if I ask you what are those?" The boy was a little startled by the girl's presence, but that is not the reason why he did not reply. He turned the page of his notebook and wrote, "I am you." He then turned the page again and wrote, "I am a Mangyan and this is Surat Mangyan, which is our syllabic alphabet. I am finishing my Ambahan love story poem. Since I cannot speak, this is where I usually express my thoughts." Ablah's heart hurts for the boy. It must have been hard being not able to speak at all. How hard it is to express your anger when you cannot talk. Tell someone you love them when you cannot speak. The boy showed another page to Ablah where these words are written, "Do not pity me just because I am mute. Pity me when I no longer write, because that means I do not feel anything at all." The boy then gave her a smile. He taps his coin multiple times on the cold steel handlebar, hinting the vehicle to stop, for he had reached his destination. It was lunchtime already, so she decided to stop in a cafeteria. There was an old man, perhaps an employee there, who was currently being scolded by a customer. Accidentally, she heard their conversation. How could you mistakenly serve me a red velvet cake when I ordered a chocolate mousse? The luxurious woman shouted, catching everybody's attention. The old man then answered, I'm deeply sorry. It is my fault. I am colorblind, so I cannot differentiate between colors. Despite the man's calm tone, the lady shouted again. How can a manager let a colorblind work for them? The man said, I begged them to hire me because I needed money to pay rent. The manager stepped in the commotion and sadly, he fired the old man, saying it's for the better so they can prevent this from happening again. Ablah followed the old man the moment he stepped out of the cafeteria. It was a music store located a few streets away from the cafeteria that put the man in halt. A smile formed in his lips before entering the store. Ablah went in too, pretending to look at the vinyls. The old man seemed close to the owner. Try this is new, the owner said. His companion took it from his hand and began playing the instrument. Ablah's tears threatened to fall from her eyes when she heard his music. It was relaxing, soothing, like a water healing a child's wound. The music stopped and she heard them speak again. It is a bamboo violin from Cordillera. It's just 3-string though. The bow is called booting. The old man replied, It's my first time seeing this. But he nailed playing it. There's also a pudyapi from Cordillera as well. It has 6 strings. Try it. The old man started playing again, and all Ablah could do was listen and silently praise the music virtuoso. His eyes only see shades of gray. He sees the world differently from others, but the way he understands its music is colorful. His hands are magical and his music is endlessing. He perfectly knows the rhythm like the back of his hand and amazingly plays the melody like a woman saying her vows to her spouse. She gets on a train to go to the next town. Surely, this girl loves wandering. Fortunately, many seats are vacant. She sat near the door, beside a girl who seems like her age, occupied by a graphite pencil and her artwork in progress. A lot of things had amazed Ablah today, and this one is no difference. She has an immense interest in architecture, and the girl beside her is currently working on her designs. Being the girl that she is, Ablah praised the girl beside her, telling her how admirable her art is. But the girl did not bestow her a glance. But Ablah is persistent, so she started poking her on her side. And finally, she has her attention. Your design is so great. Are you taking up architecture? To her surprise, the girl answered her with sign language. She showed something to her. It is a card indicating she's deaf. Ablah smiled at her and motioned her to continue her work. She quietly watched the girl continuing her sketch, and once finished, the girl moved closer to Ablah and showed her her other works. Most of her works reflects cultural heritage of the Philippines. The bahay na bato with a wooden, mainly composed of bamboo's interior is what Ablah admired the most. They were all beautiful, all fascinating. She was auditorily impaired, a deaf mute, but her hands are gifted to speak in her language, and it is art. The train stopped, bringing her to her last stop for the day. She went in a place outside her town to celebrate a feast. It is a culture, a festival in this town. It features multicolored hot air balloons from around the globe. She decided to go early because there will be performances first before flying those giant balloons. The fest started with a band performance, followed by a solo singing. And for the last, here it is, kids dancing maglalatik. One of the kids caught Ablah's eyes, for he is different from the rest. Some are made for dancing, and that little one is born for it, Ablah thought to herself. The little boy has Down syndrome. His graceful moves and bright smiles made the performance a lot better. He is mentally retarded, but he dances smoothly. His mind might not be progressing as fast as others, but it tells the body the best way to dance with a rhythm. And what shines up the most are his smiles while dancing. The sun is already gone when Ablah reached her home. She took out something from her bag, the notes she wrote on her binded papers as she travels back home. Every person that I've encountered today taught me different lessons. Why do I have everything good in them, but not the bad ones? I can write, but I'm not mute. I can sing and play harp, but not colorblind. I have artistic and creative hands, but I can hear perfectly. I can dance, yet my mind functions normally. Isn't it unfair that you gave me too much goods and gave others a lot of bads? The world must be cruel to them. But my eyes saw everything, and it had chosen to look at the brightest sides. I have gifts and talents, but I never use them to showcase my culture and tradition. But those people, those who have disabilities, reflect what their community has. They are incomplete, but the love and respect for the land they grew up with made them whole.